new, you know what to do, man. You don't know what that mean, man. Hit the motherfucking like button. Yeah. Man, if y'all just seen last video, man, my bad for not talking that much. You know, I was devouring some motherfucking Burger King. But let's get to the video, man. Shout out Finesse Craze, man.
From having the highest number of submission wins in the UFC.
Oh, shit. But I can sit here and tell y'all about Charles Oliveria.
Best lightweight fighters in the world like Dustin Poirier. This is why fighters are really beating some of the best lightweight fighters in the world like Dustin Poirier.
Poirier?
Fighters are
Who is that?
Beating some of the best lightweight fighters in the world like Dustin Poirier. This is why fighters are really scared of Charles Oliveira. Let's start with his submission record, because you don't just go and win 16 fights via submission. Not to mention, he also has the most finishes in the history of UFC at 19. So how has he managed that? Well, for starters,
at what?
Finishes in the history of UFC at 19. So how is he
I didn't
managed
even
that?
know that.
Well, for starters, Oliveira is considered one of, if not the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter out there. There's an art to the way he grapples his opponents and makes them.
Look at that heel hook, beautiful.
With his stance. You see, Oliveira doesn't stand like a traditional grappler and prefers to go with a much more upright stance. Although he does have excellent striking ability, which means he doesn't even have to rely on his grappling all the time. There with the triangle choke. That's very tight now. There's the tap. I mean, he literally finished one of the best fighters in the world, Michael Chandler, with a devastating left hook, which is proof enough that he's got a lot more than just submission holds in his arsenal.
Hell yeah.
There are some obvious downsides to his stance, too, like the fact that it opens him up to a potential takedown. Here's the thing, though. Oliveira doesn't actually mind that as much as other fighters since he's so comfortable from guard. Like, if you go back and look at some of his fights, you'll see just how good he is at turning those takedowns into an advantage. So, not only do you...
One thing Islam did, though, he, like, bro, he made to where, like, nigga, if he in guard, bro, he's not getting submitted.
There's also a chance.
Only thing he did was block.
Fuck! And a submission opportunity.
Damn, I just wish Charles would have put up a better fight, so it could be like an instant rematch type shit.
Now this is where he earns his bread and butter, because rather than setting up a single attempt and getting back up once it's failed.
Cause this man is the reason why I came back in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? When I came back to watching the UFC, you know what I'm saying? Cause I thought he was gonna get his ass whooped by motherfucking Justin Gaethje and motherfucking Michael Chandler. Then he ended up whipping the niggas both. So I was like, I don't know. And I'm talking in the mic because if y'all can't hear my background, you know what I'm saying? They're going crazy. You know what I'm saying? They're going crazy.
Why, you ask?
Is the mic still on?
Fighters will know some way out of a submission lock and will probably see it coming. But by chaining attacks together, the Brazilian forces his opponents to defend multiple things at once, which by the end leaves them with little to no energy. Now you might think that this is simple and that other fighters could replicate this in the octagon. What's up, everybody? He actually dropped to the ground on purpose during his fight against Justin Gaethje at UFC 274. Why? Well, he was trying to lure him to the ground. Oh, and yeah, he won that fight with a deadly first-round rear naked choke as well.
That was crazy, bro. Bro, and Justin Gaethje, listen. I want y'all to know Justin Gaethje is a monster, and he beat him.
It's not all about grappling and submission. In fact, his kickboxing is also top-notch. Although, to be fair, it's hard to usually spot that in his fights, since he doesn't use it to actually defeat opponents. Instead, he's got this super aggressive style of kickboxing that gives him a lot of forward momentum in fights. And this, in turn, means that his opponents barely get any breathing room in the octagon. This way, when he does eventually drop down to his ground game and hold someone in a submission lock, they're already out of breath, forcing them to tap out within seconds. Not to mention, Oliveira's got unparalleled confidence in his own ability, so much so that he makes sure everyone knows what he's all about as well.
You want to come here and show that he's the best in this category. Well, you showed it tonight, sir.
After all, he's got a way with words that really lets him get under his opponent's skin. Of course, the UFC is full of some incredible trash talkers, but it takes someone real crafty to poke someone right where it hurts. And well, that's where Oliveira outshines everyone else. Take the build-up to his fight against Islam, for example. Sure, he ended up losing that bout, but that doesn't mean he didn't rattle Islam going into it. Oliveira kept telling everyone how he's a sharpshooter and how he's gonna knock Makhachev out in the first round. Not to mention, there was this whole thing about Charles potentially ducking his fight against Islam, with the big man Khabib himself coming out and saying that Oliveira won't show up for the fight. But where most other fighters wouldn't even dare respond to Khabib's words, the Brazilian didn't spare the eagle. Yep, he said that everyone loves talking about how tough Khabib is. But according to Oliveira, he could easily become the first man to take down the eagle. In fact, he went as far as to claim that once he beats Makhachev, he's gonna lure Khabib out of retirement and destroy him as well. Now, that whole thing...
Everybody wanted that to happen. I want you to know, nigga, everybody wanted that.
Obviously didn't. Besides, even though he lost his most recent bout, pros still think he's one of the best lightweights in the history of the UFC.
But mine is some hater. If I said, like, Alexander won that fight,
Hill, for instance,
I can't be the only
said that
one that
Oliveira's
thinks
the best lightweight on the planet right now, and he's right up there with Khabib. Likewise, Michael Bisping also thinks he's one of the GOATs of the division.
No, he is.
Even though there are others who've held championships for longer or have done more on paper,
bro got a Darce choke standing up.
Held championships for longer or have done more on paper, the fact of the matter is that Oliveira has managed to overcome far tougher opposition in his career. Obviously, most people go to Khabib as the default since he retired at the top of his game and kept an unbeaten record. But for a lot of fighters like Bisping, Khabib's career was just a bit too short to make those big claims. And maybe if the Eagle had stuck around longer, then we could have seen someone like Oliveira come through the ranks to defeat him eventually. Oh, and even if you take the what-ifs out of the equation, then Oliveira still has one of the most impressive records in the UFC. After all, his stats are in a league of their own. I mean, even before you skip past his record 12 performance of the night bonuses, or 3 submissions of the night, or 3 fights of the night.
Hey man, to sum it up, this guy right here, he's him. I usually don't make 2 videos on one fighter, you know what I'm saying? When they fight coming up, if it wasn't for Charles Oliveira, you know what I'm saying, I probably wouldn't be watching UFC, probably wouldn't have this channel, you know what I'm saying? Yeah man, look, y'all made it this far, I love y'all. My bad for not posting. If I don't post tomorrow, I'm gonna post the next day, you know what I'm saying? If I don't post the next day, I'm gonna post tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Click on my last video, man. Love y'all.